It is now my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Jen Caudle, a member of the class of 2005 and an associate professor of family medicine here at Rowan SOM. Dr. Caudle is a dedicated clinician, teacher, mentor, and advocate for our osteopathic profession. She received the 2019 Distinguished Alumnus Award in recognition of her great leadership and exemplary service. Dr. Caudle's portfolio includes professional, academic, and clinical achievements on state and national levels that encompass both the medical profession and print and broadcast media. Dr. Caudle has developed a national reputation as an insightful media analyst and commentator on healthcare topics. Her career in the media follows the arch of her medical training, beginning with her days as an SOM student. Today, she is one of the most recognized and trusted media voices in the nation on topics related to healthcare, medicine, scientific research, and this came after more than a decade of hard work to get her where she is today, and a lot of determination. With regular and frequent appearances on the Dr. Oz Show, regular appearances on CNN, Fox News, and Today, inclusion in USA Today, Reader's Digest, Cosmopolitan, Good Housekeeping, and many other publications in print and online. Dr. Caudle provides perspective and insight on research and healthcare topics. In addition to her busy clinical practice at our Rowan Medicine, Department of Family Medicine office in Sewell, Washington Township, she is a tireless teacher and an inspirational mentor for our medical students, and many of you, our students, will get to have the privilege to work with her. She serves as the lead course director for the third-year Family Medicine Clerkship Program. She also is a national spokesperson for the American Osteopathic Association. She serves on numerous committees for our profession, including the National Board of Osteopathic Medical Examiners, the American Osteopathic Association, and the American College of Osteopathic Family Physicians. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Jen.
Thank you. Well, I'm so excited to see all of you. And I think I speak for many of my colleagues on the stage and in the audience when I say, we've been waiting for you. We've been looking forward to you coming for months. And I know that you've already started school, you've already had a beginning and a taste of what medical school is like, but this is just as much exciting for you as it is for us. Today is a day that you're never going to forget. Today is a day that you're always going to be proud of, and it was so nice seeing all of you process in and seeing you wave at family and friends and parents and family wave back at you, almost like the first day of school, because in some ways, I'm sure that's how it feels. Today really signifies a new chapter in your life and in your family's life as well. And in preparation, I wanted some inspiration to think about how I wanted to frame my words today, so of course I went to Instagram. I spend a lot of time on social media with the media work that I do. I get a lot of the health stories that I pitch and that I talk about from Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, so I'm always on social media. Anyway, so I put in hashtag white coat ceremony over the last few days to see what came up. And what came up were nothing but photos of students and families and friends and loved ones posing in pictures, standing outside of their medical schools, DOs, MDs throughout the country, proud and excited. And it was so nice to see. On Twitter, I've seen some of our DO colleagues tweeting deans, et cetera, about the first day and white coat ceremony. So it's really exciting. So I give you permission to post about this day, by the way, on social media. It's truly that important. But I also, as I was continuing to think about what I wanted to talk about, I also took a trip down memory lane to my own white coat ceremony. First of all, I should say that, digressing a little bit, my mother keeps everything, by the way. My mother has every ID badge from every hospital I've ever worked at. Yeah, from Kennedy Stratford when I was a medical student to Our Lady of Lourdes when I was a resident, she's got them all. She's got all of the white coats I've ever owned, the ones that I give her, and she still has my white coat from this ceremony when I went through this about 18 years ago. Even she has the name badge even, it's unbelievable. So parents and family, you have permission to keep the coats after the years go by. But I also started looking through my own stuff that I had in my home, and I actually found the program for my white coat ceremony back in 2001. It was kept neatly in a book that we received. You know, I say all this to say, this is exactly what this day is about. It's about 20 years from now for you, looking back on this day, thinking about the white coat that you're getting, the program, the speakers, the feeling, the vibe. That's what this day is about. And it's just as important as it feels. You know, when I was coming through school, white coat ceremony was actually before school started. So I know you guys have been in school, but when I did mine, we hadn't started school yet. And I remember I had so many emotions. I mean, I was excited. I was proud, I was nervous, you know, it felt like the first day of school. You know those first day of school jitters, you know, who's gonna sit with me at the lunchroom and am I gonna make any friends, that kind of stuff, which is normal. But I also wondered, am I gonna cut it? Am I going to be successful? I was also moving to New Jersey and unsure about how I felt about becoming a New Jersey resident. Yes, it's amazing. Being a New Jersey resident is amazing. 81% of our school is from New Jersey. But there were so many things that I was wondering about, and I know that as you've started school, you might have these as well. But I also remember being eager and excited. And if you feel any way like this, then you're spot on. So we know that the white coat ceremony began in 1993 at Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons. It really is a rite of passage, and that's what we're here to celebrate. So first of all, you know, Dean Cavalieri and Dr. Hushman and so many others today have already congratulated you, and I want to share in that. But I also want to invite you to congratulate yourselves, especially if you haven't done that recently. You know, maybe just give yourself a little high five in your brains, or, you can clap your hands, whatever you want to do. Give yourselves a round of applause, whatever it is, but I want you to congratulate yourselves. And the reason why is because it's been a long journey, hasn't it? It's been a long road. You know it. Your families know it. It's been a very, very long road. Whether you've come right out of college, or maybe you've worked another job, maybe you had another career, maybe you did a post-bac program or an advanced degree, the path has been challenging. This road isn't easy for anyone. It's long and it's tough for everyone. I can promise you that. But the fact that you're here means that you're a whole bunch of things. Of them, you're dedicated, right? You're perseverant, you're passionate, and you're hardworking. And that's just at a minimum. So if you haven't congratulated yourself anytime recently on getting to this point, you really should, because you've earned it and you deserve this. This is an exciting journey because you have the chance to fulfill a dream. You have the chance to really learn and study something that you're very likely passionate about. I'm trusting because you're here. We all have different reasons why we became interested in medicine, right? For some people, some of you, maybe you have a health condition that has shaped your life, or maybe a family member or a friend that's had a medical condition that influenced you. Maybe you had a mentor that encouraged you. I was born and raised in the state of Iowa, and when I was young, my little brother had really bad asthma. And our family doctor, his name was Dr. Johnson, he used to make house calls. He actually went to Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine and introduced me to the osteopathic world. But he was the only black physician I'd ever seen at that time growing up. And he used to come in the middle of the night, and he'd pull out his doctor bag, and it seemed like he was a superhero. I felt like he was Superman, and it was amazing. So maybe you have someone in your life that was a mentor. Maybe you come from a whole lineage of doctors and you're the next in line. Maybe you've been a nurse or an EMT or a physician's assistant and you said, hey, I think I want to be a doctor. Or maybe none of that is the case. Maybe you've just always wanted to do this for some reason. But regardless of what brought you here, this is your chance. This is your shot. And what's particularly exciting is that you chose Rowan SOM. Now, of course, I'm biased. Well, we all are, right? Dr. Hushman and Dr. Cavalieri talked about how competitive it is to get into this school, as well as so many others. But I personally feel like you get to study at an institution that truly cares about your growth and development. You know, Dean Cavalieri, and he really does say this all the time, he always says that the students are the heart of the school and the faculty are the soul. He says it almost every speech I hear him give, and I'm so glad he says it because he's right. And he believes it, and we believe it too. You know, many of the faculty in this room, Dr. Lambert, Dean Cavalieri, Dr. Hushman, Paula, I've known Paula Watkins since before I was a medical student, Dr. Corin, Dr. Lightfoot, Dr. Randall, who was my resident on the ICU rotation. These are people that, they're not just faculty members. They're not just people here. Patient care is their #1 mission, but equally as important to that is your success. And I can't tell you how true and how important that is when you're coming to a school. It's not just about you fulfilling your mission of learning about medicine. It's the fact also that you've chosen to do it in a place that really cares about who you are. And the reason why that matters is because this place is going to help you become who you were meant to be. You have so many interests. We've talked about this. Some of you are family members. Some of you have family members in other classes. Gosh, all the careers that were mentioned. We've got musicians, the singer, beautiful, by the way, beautiful anthem at the beginning of the program. Congratulations. So many talents, right? We have military personnel. The list goes on and on and on. And I love that. And the thing about Rowan is that it's actually going to help you grow and achieve in ways that you could never imagine. You know, I do a lot of media work, as you know. My time, I'm in the family medicine department. I've been an attending physician for about 10 years. And my time is split up about a day and a half. I see patients in the office in Washington Township. I teach a course for third-year family medicine clerkship students, so I'll see you in third year, guys. You'll be in my course. But 2 days a week, and often other times as well, I'm doing media work. I'm on television, et cetera. This past week, it was HLN. Every week, every day, it's something different. But something I've always felt that I haven't always gotten to say this to the people that really matter the most to me here. I don't know if I've actually gotten to tell them. I have always felt that my media career has been made here. I've appeared on the Dr. Oz show about 37 times since 2012. I appear on TV about 150 times a year. And that's almost entirely because of Rowan. When I was a third-year medical student, when I started becoming interested in media, I wondered, you know, how do news programs pick the stories that they broadcast about? How do they learn how to interpret the stories? How do the reporters pick the stories? And I remember learning about a medical broadcasting rotation, an elective at Channel 6 ABC News in Philadelphia. I called them up, and I walked into the office of Dr. Kruger, Dean Kruger, who was the academic affairs dean at the time, and asked him if I could do this elective as a third year. So instead of going to the hospital, I went to a news station, riding around in vans with reporters. And he said, sure, and he helped me get there. When I was a medical resident, I still continued my interest in media, and at that time, that was before blogs, so I had a newsletter. It was called The Health Update. Big stuff, okay? It was a newsletter. I put everybody that I knew in my contact list on the mailing list for this newsletter, and I used to write articles for local publications. And Dr. Corin, who's the chair of the family medicine department now, he was my attending at the time in the Hainesport office. He would read my articles before I'd print them. You know, I wasn't a licensed physician at that time. I was still a resident. So he read all of my articles just to make sure I wasn't saying anything crazy. Very important, actually. Quite important. And even now, my work, doing media work, I don't know any other doctor that has the opportunity that I have, and it's because of the foresight and the forethinking of Rowan SOM. I say this to say that these opportunities exist for you as well. So just as you've taken this journey to learn and to study a discipline that you care passionately about, you've also chosen the right place to do that. Because the people here care so much about who you are as a person and you becoming the person that you were always meant to be. So it's an exciting journey, right? You're excited, but it's not the easiest journey. You've already been in school, so you know you've probably had a few exams already. There are going to be times that you don't sleep enough, times that you don't sleep at all, times that you might wonder if you're going to make it or wonder how you'll make it. You're going to miss family and friends, and you're going to miss life's events that you don't want to miss. You're going to sacrifice some of your personal interests and hobbies, and at times you might feel like you're actually sacrificing yourself. But what's going to get you through is your mission, the mission that you hold dearly. You know, I wrote, just as probably many of you wrote in your med school essays, that you wanted to help people, right? You don't have to raise your hands, but I'm sure most of us wrote some variation of, we wanted to help people. And I don't say that in jest, I say that because I'm proud of that. Right? That's what we want to do. That's what doctors do, is they help people. You probably talked about how you wanted to impact society, or how you wanted to make the world a better place, or how you wanted to help people live better lives, right? Well, we all want that, and that's why we're here. But that's also what's going to get you through this. And that's what got me through this as well. I have to be honest, though, when I was thinking about the practice of studying medicine, I know that at times throughout the journey, first and second years, you're getting ready for boards, and then clinical years, you're trying to get into residency, and there's always a milestone, right? And there's always a landmark, another test, another quiz, another exam. And I think when I was going through it, when I thought about what it was going to be like to be a doctor, I realize now, as an attending for 10 years, I got it wrong. I got it completely wrong. Being a doctor is many things I thought it was going to be, but probably the most important thing I got wrong. I thought I would like medicine, but what I didn't realize was how much better it was going to be than I ever could have imagined. I underestimated what this profession would be like. I underestimated and couldn't even imagine how wonderful it would actually be to help people. Taking those words right off the pages of our medical school essays. The ability to literally help change the course of a patient's life for the better is unimaginable. It will change your lives, I promise you. And that I didn't know. You're going to see babies being born. You're going to see people die. You're going to become parts of the lives of the families that you treat in ways that you never thought of. You'll have the opportunity to positively affect the lives of other people literally for the rest of their lives. And that's something I completely underestimated. And it's taught me what I believe about medicine, that the opportunity to become a doctor is a blessing, and it's a gift. Being a doctor is a privilege. We're lucky to be able to do this. And it's an honor to have the opportunity to do the work that we do, and to have the opportunity to help other people the way that we can. So while it may seem that you've chosen medicine, I would also argue that it's also chosen you. So in closing, a few words of advice for you. I have a list of 7 things, actually. First thing, I like lists that keep me on track. First thing is to remember this day, right? This is one of the best days ever. This is one of the most important days ever. It's almost like the beginning of the rest of your lives, even though you've been in med school for a few weeks. And it's as important as it feels. So parents and family members and spouses, et cetera, you have permission to keep the white coat forever and ever and ever. The second thing is to keep your friends and families close. You're going to want them close, but you're also going to need them to be close as well. You're going to need that support. The third thing is that when you get stressed out and you need a study break, take one. Look up funny medicine memes on Instagram, sit on your couch and watch an episode of Family Guy, do whatever you need to do, take a step back, regroup yourself, and come back renewed. We all need breaks at times. The fourth thing is when you have questions, make sure that you ask. Ask for directions, for help, for clarification, for advice, for anything, but just make sure that you ask. The fifth thing is to work hard, but don't forget your passions, whether it's music or arts or sports, etc. Even though your life will never be the same as what it was before you got into medical school, there's no reason for you to be different. You still need to make time for the person you were before you got here. It's not easy, but try. Work hard at it. The sixth thing is to not compare yourselves to others. Your path was never meant to be the same as that of the person sitting next to you, to the right or to the left or in front of you or behind you. Your path is your own. And the seventh thing is something that I tell all of my clerkship students on orientation day. I kind of go through the do's and the don'ts and, kind of laying down the groundwork and laying down the law on orientation day. And one of the things I like to talk to students about is the process of being a doctor. My personal belief is that the best doctors are not necessarily the smartest. Because at this point, you're all smart. Everyone is smart. Every single one of you. Everyone in this room is smart. That's not what determines who's a stellar, outstanding doctor. In my opinion, the best doctors are those with heart, with compassion, with dedication and thoughtfulness, with persistence, and those with deep love for humanity and a respect for the profession. William Osler said, "The practice of medicine is an art. It's not a trade. It's a calling and not a business. It's a calling in which your heart will be exercised equally with your head." And I feel, if you remember that, you'll be just fine. So welcome, class of 2023. We're happy that you're here.